Kody Brown just had the most explosive breakdown ever captured on Sister Wives, and trust me, this is not the confident patriarch we used to know. The 55-year-old reality star completely unraveled on camera, and what he admitted is absolutely jaw-dropping. In newly released trailers for Season 20, Kody declares through tears and frustration that his dream is shot, his family is destroyed, and everything he built his entire identity around has crumbled to dust. This is not just another dramatic Sister Wives moment. This is a full-scale identity crisis playing out in real time, and the cameras caught every devastating second. Picture Kody in his most vulnerable state, emotions raw, voice breaking, as he confesses that the big polygamous family he spent decades building is finished, gone, shattered beyond repair. After losing 3 of his 4 wives in rapid succession, Kody is facing a reality he never imagined, and the pain is written all over his face. Christine walked away first, then Janelle confirmed her exit, and finally Meri announced their spiritual divorce was official. One by one, they left, and Kody watched his entire world collapse. But here's where it gets even more explosive. In a scene with his remaining wife, Robyn Brown, Kody doesn't just express sadness or disappointment, he goes completely hysterical. The man is in full meltdown mode, and what he screams at Robyn is absolutely stunning. He tells her that every single one of them betrayed him, that he's lost his mind, that he can't process what's happened. This is not the controlled spiritual leader persona Kody usually tries to project. This is a man spiraling, unable to cope with the reality that his plural marriage dream has turned into a nightmare. And Robyn's response, she drops her own bombshell that makes this situation even messier. While Kody is having his breakdown, Robyn reveals to the cameras that he's sabotaging their relationship. She watches her husband fall apart over losing the other wives and realizes that his emotional turmoil is now destroying what they have together. Robyn even admits she feels like the idiot who got left behind, stuck dealing with a man who can't move forward because he's too busy mourning what he lost. But wait, because this gets so much deeper. Kody's breakdown isn't just about losing his wives. There's a far more painful confession coming, one that cuts to the core of who Kody thinks he is. He's about to reveal his biggest fear about Robyn, about his worth, and about whether he even matters anymore without his polygamous identity. The emotional devastation is real, and what Kody admits next will make you see this entire situation in a completely different light. This is just the beginning of Kody's unraveling, and the revelations keep getting more shocking. So let's dive into that hysterical scene with Robyn, because what Kody says in this moment is absolutely unhinged. The cameras capture him at his breaking point, and he's not holding anything back. Kody looks directly at Robyn and screams, "They have all betrayed me. I am out of my mind." This is not a calm, rational conversation. This is a man who has completely lost his grip on reality, and Robyn is standing there watching her husband have a full emotional breakdown right in front of her. Think about what that moment means. Kody built his entire life around being this polygamous patriarch, the man with multiple wives and this big, sprawling family. That was his identity, his purpose, his entire sense of self. And now, with 3 wives gone, he's standing there telling Robyn that he's been betrayed by everyone. But here's the twist that makes this so much more complicated. Kody isn't just upset about the divorces. He's spiraling because he genuinely believed these women owed him loyalty, that they were supposed to stay no matter what, and their decision to leave has shattered his entire worldview. Robyn is watching all of this unfold, and she's processing her own feelings about what's happening. She tells the cameras something that adds a whole new layer to this mess. She reveals that Kody is sabotaging their relationship. Let that sink in for a second. The only wife who stayed, the woman who allegedly did everything to secure her position as Kody's favorite, is now admitting that his obsession with losing the others is destroying what they have together. Robyn sees it clearly. Kody can't move forward because he's stuck in the past, mourning a family structure that no longer exists. And then Robyn drops another painful confession. She says, "I feel like the idiot that got left behind." Can you imagine? She's the one who stayed loyal, who remained committed, and now she feels like she's dealing with the emotional wreckage of a man who can't let go. Robyn didn't sign up to be Kody's therapist or his emotional support system while he grieves his lost wives. She thought she was part of a plural marriage, not the sole survivor of a family implosion. But here's where Kody's breakdown gets even more heartbreaking. Sources close to the situation reveal that Kody's hysteria isn't just about losing his wives. It goes much deeper than that. Kody is terrified about what losing those wives means for his relationship with Robyn. He's questioning everything, including whether Robyn even wants him anymore, now that the polygamous structure is gone. His deepest insecurity is bubbling to the surface, and what he confesses to Robyn about his fears will absolutely break your heart. Kody is about to reveal something so vulnerable, so raw, that it changes everything we thought we knew about his relationship with Robyn. Here's where Kody's breakdown takes a turn that nobody saw coming. In exclusive Season 20 preview clips, Kody opens up about his deepest, most painful insecurity and it's absolutely devastating. He confesses to Robyn that he's been carrying this fear ever since the other wives left, and it's eating him alive. Cody admits that Robyn married him under the premise of plural marriage with the expectation of plural marriage. She didn't sign up for monogamy, she didn't want to be his only wife. And now Cody is terrified that without his polygamous identity, he's not valuable to her anymore. Listen to what Cody actually says. He tells Robyn, "When the other wives left, I wondered if my value to her was diminished." And then he adds the most heartbreaking part, "I'm still wondering." This man is living in constant fear that Robyn only wanted him as a polygamous patriarch, not as just a regular husband. He's questioning whether she finds him attractive, interesting, or even worth being with now that he's just one man with one wife. The insecurity is so deep, so painful, that Cody can't even function properly in his relationship with Robyn because he's convinced he's lost his worth. Think about how tragic that is. Cody spent years being the center of attention in a plural marriage, rotating between wives, feeling important and needed by multiple women. That was his identity. That was what made him feel valuable. And now, stripped of that structure, he genuinely believes he's worthless. He's looking at Robyn, wondering if she's disappointed, if she regrets staying, if she wishes she had left like the others. The paranoia is consuming him, and it's destroying their relationship from the inside out. But here's the painful paradox that makes this situation even more complicated. Robyn did marry Cody, expecting plural marriage. She joined this family structure, believing she'd always share him with other wives. That was the deal. That was the lifestyle she chose. And now, through no fault of her own, she's stuck in a monogamous marriage she never wanted. Cody knows this. He sees it. And that knowledge is tearing him apart because he can't give Robyn what she signed up for. Insiders claim that Cody's crisis over his diminished value is affecting every interaction between him and Robyn. He's constantly seeking reassurance, constantly questioning whether she still loves him, constantly paranoid that she's secretly unhappy. And the worst part? Cody might actually be right to worry because Robyn has her own confession about their monogamous situation, and what she reveals is going to shock you. Robyn is about to admit something that confirms Cody's worst fears and exposes the truth about what she really thinks about being his only wife. This revelation changes everything. Robyn Brown just dropped a bombshell that nobody expected, and it confirms Cody's worst nightmare. After everything that's happened, after being the wife who stayed loyal while the others walked away, Robyn admits something absolutely stunning. She reveals that being Cody's only wife is not great. Let that sink in. The woman who fans accused for years of manipulating her way into being Cody's favorite, the wife who allegedly schemed to push the others out, is now saying she never wanted this. She never wanted Cody all to herself, and the monogamous life they're living is making her miserable. Robyn's confession is raw and vulnerable. She tells the cameras, "While I love Cody, I did not ever intend or expect or want to have him to myself. I always wanted to live plural marriage. I wanted to live my religion." This is huge. Robyn is admitting that the life she's living right now goes against everything she believed in, everything she signed up for. She didn't join this family to eventually become Cody's only wife. She joined because she wanted sister wives. She wanted that plural marriage structure. And now that it's gone, she's struggling. And it gets even more devastating. Robyn reveals that she's been in deep, deep depression while living in Flagstaff and watching the divorces unfold before her eyes. Can you imagine? She's sitting there watching Christine leave, then Janelle, then Meri, and she's not celebrating like fans assumed she would. She's falling apart, she's depressed, she's mourning the loss of the family structure just like Cody is. The irony is absolutely staggering. Everyone thought Robyn wanted to be the only wife, that she'd finally gotten what she'd been working toward all along. But the truth is, she's devastated by it. Sources close to the family reveal that Robyn's depression has been serious and ongoing. She's not just casually disappointed about the situation, she's genuinely struggling with her mental health, dealing with the weight of being the only wife left and facing a future she never wanted. The life she thought she'd have, surrounded by sister wives and living her religious beliefs, has completely disappeared. And now she's stuck in a monogamous marriage with a man who's having his own identity crisis about the exact same situation. Think about how twisted this is. Cody is worried that Robyn doesn't want him without the plural marriage. Robyn is admitting she doesn't want this monogamous life. They're both trapped in a situation neither of them wanted, both mourning the loss of the same dream, and both struggling to figure out how to move forward. The tension between them is palpable, and it's only getting worse as reality sets in. But this mess didn't happen overnight. 3 devastating divorces destroyed Cody's world piece by piece, and understanding how it all fell apart reveals just how deep this tragedy really goes. Let's talk about the 3 devastating divorces that completely destroyed Cody's world, because understanding the timeline reveals just how brutal this collapse really was. This wasn't one sudden loss. This was a slow, agonizing domino effect where Cody watched his entire family structure crumble piece by piece, and he was powerless to stop it. Each wife who left took another chunk of his identity identity with her, and by the time the dust settled, there was almost nothing left of the man Kody thought he was. Kody Brown was the first to walk away, and her exit in November 2021 sent shockwaves through the family. She didn't just leave quietly. Kody made it clear she was done, that she couldn't live this life anymore, and she wanted freedom. Her departure was the first crack in the foundation, and it shook Kody to his core. He never thought Kody would actually leave. He thought she'd stay forever, that her commitment to plural marriage was stronger than her unhappiness. He was wrong. Then came Janelle's split, confirmed in December 2022. Janelle had always been the practical one, the wife who seemed the most independent and emotionally detached. But even she reached her breaking point. When Janelle walked away, it sent another devastating message to Kody. If someone as strong and self-sufficient as Janelle couldn't make it work, what did that say about him? What did that say about the family he'd built? The second domino fell, and Kody's dream was slipping further away. And then came the final blow. Meri announced their spiritual divorce in January 2023, officially ending any hope Kody had of salvaging the plural marriage structure. Meri had stayed the longest despite years of distance and tension between them. She'd held on, hoping things might improve, but eventually even she gave up. 3 wives gone in just over a year. 3 relationships ended. 3 pieces of Kody's identity ripped away. The speed of the collapse is what makes this so devastating. Kody went from being a polygamist with 4 wives to a monogamist with 1 wife in barely over a year. His entire world changed, his identity shattered, and he had no time to process any of it before the next wife left. Each departure reinforced the same painful message. They didn't want him anymore. They chose freedom over staying with him. And Kody was left standing there wondering what he did wrong, why he wasn't enough, and how everything fell apart so quickly. But the divorces weren't the only tragedy Kody faced. There's another layer to his breakdown that makes this situation even more heartbreaking. Kody's breakdown goes so much deeper than just losing his wives, and what he confesses about his self-worth is absolutely heartbreaking. In what fans are calling his most vulnerable moment ever captured on Sister Wives, Kody breaks down completely and says something that reveals the true depth of his pain. He admits, "I don't know if I'm worth anything anymore." This is a man who has completely lost his sense of identity, who genuinely believes he has no value, and who's questioning his entire existence without the polygamous structure that defined him for decades. Think about what that confession means. Kody built his entire life around being a polygamous patriarch. That wasn't just his lifestyle choice. That was who he was at his core. He was the man with multiple wives, the leader of a big plural family, the guy living this unconventional life that made him special and important. And now, without that identity, he's looking in the mirror and seeing nothing. He doesn't know who Kody Brown is if he's not a polygamist. He doesn't know what his purpose is. He genuinely believes he's worthless. The identity crisis is consuming him. Sources close to the situation reveal that Kody's emotional state has been deteriorating for months, maybe even years. He's not just sad about the divorces, he's experiencing a complete mental and emotional breakdown because everything he thought he knew about himself has been stripped away. The role he played, the status he held, the purpose he felt, all of it is gone. And without it, Kody is lost. But the pain behind Kody's breakdown isn't just about identity. There are other factors that have compounded his emotional collapse and made everything so much worse. The COVID pandemic put immense strain on the family dynamics, creating tension and distance between Kody and his wives. His strict rules and controlling behavior during that time pushed the wives even further away, accelerating the divorces. Kody knows he contributed to the collapse, and that guilt is eating him alive. And then there are the strained relationships with his adult children. Kody admits that many of his kids are distant, angry, or completely estranged from him. The man who dreamed of having this big, loving, close-knit family is now facing the reality that many of his own children don't even want to be around him. That rejection cuts deep, adding another layer of pain to Kody's already devastating emotional state. He's not just grieving the loss of his wives, he's grieving the loss of his children's respect and love. Word on the street suggests that Kody's mental health struggles are serious and ongoing. He's not bouncing back from this, he's drowning in pain, regret, and self-doubt. But there's one more tragedy that pushed Kody over the edge. One loss so devastating that it made everything else unbearable. There's one tragedy that compounded everything and made Kody's emotional collapse so much worse, and it's absolutely absolutely devastating. In March 2024, the Brown family experienced a loss so heartbreaking that it shattered whatever fragile stability they had left. Garrison Brown, Janelle and Cody's son, passed away at just 25 years old. The young man took his own life, and the grief that followed was unbearable for everyone involved. This wasn't just another challenge for the family to navigate, this was a tragedy that intensified Cody's breakdown and made their Flagstaff home a place of unimaginable pain. Garrison's death hit the family like a freight train. Sources close to the Browns reveal that the loss devastated Cody in ways that are hard to put into words. He was already dealing with the collapse of his plural marriage, already struggling with his identity crisis, and then this tragedy struck and destroyed whatever emotional reserves he had left. Losing a child is every parent's worst nightmare, and for Cody, it came at a time when he was already at his lowest point. The weight of the grief was crushing. And here's what makes this even more painful. Cody's relationship with many of his adult children, including Garrison, had been strained for years. The tension, the distance, the unresolved conflict, all of it hung in the air. And now, with Garrison gone, there's no chance for reconciliation. There's no opportunity to repair what was broken. Cody is left with regret, guilt, and the haunting question of whether things could have been different if he'd handled the family situation better. That kind of pain doesn't go away. It stays with you forever. The Flagstaff home where the family lived became unbearable after Garrison's death. Cody later described the house as holding pain from all the traumas they'd experienced. The divorces happened there, the COVID struggles played out there, and Garrison's death added another layer of grief to those walls. Every room, every corner, every space was a reminder of what they'd lost and what had fallen apart. Cody couldn't stay there anymore. The memories were too painful, the grief too heavy. Insiders claim that Cody's emotional state after Garrison's death was the final breaking point. He was already spiraling from the divorces, already questioning his worth and identity, and this tragedy pushed him into a darkness he couldn't escape. The pain of losing his son combined with the pain of losing his wives created a perfect storm of grief and despair. Cody wasn't just sad, he was broken in ways that might never fully heal. But even in the midst of all this devastation, Cody revealed something surprising about his situation with Robyn, something that exposes a painful paradox at the heart of his breakdown. What he admits about monogamy versus polygamy is going to make you see this entire mess in a completely different light. Here's where Cody's breakdown becomes even more complicated because he reveals something that contradicts everything he's been mourning. Despite his emotional collapse over losing his polygamous family, despite his claims that his dream is shot and his identity is shattered, Cody admits something shocking. He confesses that staying with just Robyn for years actually turned out better for him than moving around from one wife to another. He reflected that he never felt like a married man in his past marriages, but it truly changed when he married Robyn. Let that sink in for a second. The man who's hysterical about losing his plural marriage is also admitting that monogamy with Robyn worked better for him. This creates the most painful paradox imaginable. Cody is mourning a lifestyle that he simultaneously admits didn't work as well for him. He's grieving the loss of a family structure that left him feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. He spent years rotating between wives, never feeling truly married to any of them, always dividing his time and attention, and then with Robyn, something shifted. He felt like an actual husband. He felt connected in ways he never experienced with Christine, Janelle, or Meri. But now he's devastated that the plural marriage is over, even though he functioned better without it. Think about how confusing and heartbreaking this must be for Cody. On one hand, he genuinely mourns the loss of his polygamous identity because that's who he thought he was supposed to be. That was his religious belief, his life's purpose, the structure that gave him meaning. On the other hand, he's admitting that the reality of living that lifestyle never actually made him happy or fulfilled. He was trying to be someone he thought he should be, not someone he actually was. And now he's stuck in this terrible place where he's grieving a dream that never really worked, while simultaneously living a reality that does work but makes him feel like a failure. And here's where it gets even more twisted. Cody worries that functioning better in monogamy makes him less valuable to Robyn. She married him expecting plural marriage. She wanted that lifestyle. And if Cody is better as a monogamist, if he prefers being with just her, does that make him less of what she signed up for? Does that diminish his worth in her eyes? Cody is trapped in a no-win situation where admitting the truth about what works for him might confirm Robyn's disappointment. Sources close to the couple reveal that this paradox is tearing Cody apart mentally and emotionally. He can't fully embrace monogamy with Robyn because he feels like he's betraying his identity and his religion, but he also can't deny that his relationship with Robyn feels more real and fulfilling than his other marriages ever did. He's stuck between who he thinks he should be and who he actually is, and that internal conflict is destroying him. But Cody and Robyn aren't giving up yet. They have a plan to escape all this pain. Cody and Robyn have made a dramatic move to escape all the pain and trauma, and their solution is absolutely massive. The couple just purchased a brand new $2 million Arizona mansion, and this isn't just any house. This is a sprawling 7,884 square foot property with 6 bedrooms, a guest house, and even a detached RV garage. Cody sees this new home as a fresh start, a place where they can leave behind the grief and heartbreak that consumed them in Flagstaff. He's calling it a new beginning, and he's desperately hoping this mansion will become a place for my kids to come to. But here's the reality behind Cody's optimism. He admits there are a lot of strained relationships between him and his adult children. A lot. The man is hoping that a fancy new mansion will somehow fix years of tension, conflict, and emotional damage. He's banking on the idea that his kids will see this beautiful new home and want to reconnect, want to visit, want to rebuild their relationships with him. But sources close to the family suggest that Cody might be delusional if he thinks a house is going to solve these deep-rooted problems. Think about what this purchase really represents. Cody and Robyn are literally running away from their pain. They sold their previous Flagstaff home for $1.7 million because Cody said it held too much pain from the divorces, the COVID struggles, and Garrison's death. Every room in that house was a reminder of what they lost, and they couldn't stand to stay there anymore. So they're starting over with this massive new property, hoping that new walls and new spaces will somehow erase the trauma and give them a chance to heal. But can a house really fix what's broken? Can moving to a new mansion repair Cody's shattered identity, heal Robyn's depression, or bring back the estranged children? Insiders speculate that Cody and Robyn are putting way too much faith in this fresh start. The problems they're facing aren't about location. They're about unresolved grief, broken relationships, and a fundamental disconnect between the life they're living and the life they wanted. A $2 million mansion doesn't change any of that. And there's another layer to this that makes the situation even more complicated. Cody hopes his kids will come visit this new home, but many of his adult children are angry with him. They're hurt by his behavior during the divorces, frustrated by his treatment of their mothers, and some are completely estranged. Word on the street suggests that Cody's relationship with his children is far more damaged than he's willing to admit publicly. The new mansion might give him hope, but it's not going to magically repair years of pain and resentment. So where does this leave Cody and Robyn as they move into season 20? What's next for this couple living a life neither of them wanted? The answers are complicated, messy, and absolutely fascinating. Season 20 of Sister Wives is promising to document the Browns facing completely new pathways forward, and the synopsis reveals just how dramatically everything has changed. This isn't the show we watched for years, where Cody juggled multiple wives and tried to keep everyone happy. This is a completely different reality where the family has splintered into separate lives and everyone is trying to figure out who they are now that the plural marriage dream is dead. Meri Brown is seeking an official church release, which is essentially their version of a divorce. She's done waiting for Cody to acknowledge what's been obvious for years. She wants the formal religious closure that will allow her to move on completely. Sources close to Meri reveal that getting this release is incredibly important to her emotional healing. She needs to officially sever ties and start fresh without the weight of a failed spiritual marriage hanging over her. Janelle is moving away from Flagstaff entirely. She's physically removing herself from the place where so much pain and conflict happened. Janelle has always been the most independent of the wives, and now she's proving it by starting over somewhere new. Insiders claim that Janelle feels lighter and freer than she has in years. She's not looking back, she's not dwelling on what could have been, and she's focused entirely on building a life that actually makes her happy. Meanwhile, Christine has already moved forward in the most dramatic way possible. She married David Woolley, and by all accounts, she's absolutely thriving. Christine is living proof that life after Cody can be beautiful and fulfilling. She's glowing, she's happy, and she's showing the world that leaving was the best decision she ever made. Her happiness has to sting for Cody, knowing that Christine is doing better without him than she ever did with him. And then there's Robyn and Cody facing challenges as an unplanned monogamous couple. Neither of them wanted this, neither of them signed up for a life with just each other. They're both mourning the loss of plural marriage, both struggling with depression and identity crises, and both trying to figure out if their relationship can survive when it's built on a foundation that no longer exists. The question hanging over their marriage is huge. Can they make it work when neither got what they wanted? Can Robyn accept being the only wife when that's not what she chose? Can Cody accept that he might be better suited for monogamy even though it goes against everything he believed? And underlying all of this is the devastating loss of Garrison Brown. Season 20 will show the family navigating that grief, processing that tragedy and trying to find ways to move forward while carrying that pain. So what do you think? Can Cody and Robyn's marriage survive this unplanned monogamy, or are they heading for disaster? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, subscribe for more explosive sister wives updates, and stay tuned because the next video is waiting and you won't believe what's coming next.